Okay, so I'm going to do a quick run through of the email design system SDK, which we launched a couple of months ago. Effectively, what this is a new way to develop your email design system in Email Shepherd. So traditionally, you'd have done this in the UI. So I've got an example here. This is a sort of a fictional travel brand with a few components, and this is the UI component builder. So yeah, basically, it's just a split screen view between your code and the editable fields, and you can see it kind of design tokens. You can change the preview and flip between the different components. And yeah, effectively what the SDK is a way to do all of that locally. So instead of just doing your component code via code, you also do all the field definitions via code and so on. So there's quite a few benefits to this, but the one I'll be focusing on is really how it can be used with coding agents. So you can integrate with Claude Code or Codex and so on. It comes pre-packaged with an email design system skill. It also comes packaged with a CLI, which help both you and your agent run commands against the email shepherd to validate it and render it and so on, and make sure that that everything's valid before deploying it back to email shepherd. So I'll show you the setup and we'll run through a few examples. Okay, so to start, you'll want to run the setup command, which I will copy from here. You want to go to your terminal and just paste that command. You'll need your email shepherd API key, which I have here. I can paste in. Then you'll get asked to pick the workspace that the design system is in and the design system. So pick this one, Firesheep, and pick the directory. Okay, so now it'll ask you if you want to install the email shepherd, the email design system skill, which you should do. Yeah, so just hit yes, and it'll ask you which coding agent you're using. So for this demo, I'll use Claude Code. That's fine. So yeah, so in the project, and yes, proceed. Okay, so let me enter the project, and let me open that in my IDE. Okay, so that's bootstrapped a new email design system project. I'll take you through a few of the files. So here's the README, which you probably want to start with. It contains all the information you need to get started, really, and a few recommendations about maybe some extensions you might want to use, what IDE to use, and things like that. If you'd like to, it also has an agents.md, which is a similar idea, but for your agent. So your coding agent will read this, and obviously it contains the email shepherd email design system skill. And really, this just teaches your agent about how to about what email shepherd is, basically how to define an email design system. So it's quite detailed. So it tells about the different field types, how to hide fields, validate fields, and also how to run commands to validate its own code against the email shepherd API, which it'll do. As a nice sort of feedback loop. So if it does make a mistake, it generally can fix them by itself. And then in the source directory, you'll have a directory called components, which is just a list of components, the ones you could see in the UI before. And within a component, you'll find two files. So you'll find a .liquid file, the template.liquid file, which is effectively just the code for the component with your liquid variables, and also the metadata file, which contains the field definitions. And so this is a TypeScript file. If you're not familiar with TypeScript, it's effectively been made to look quite like JSON here. But one of the benefits is if you make a mistake, so for example, you remove a field that's required or something like that, then your IDE will shout at you and tell you that something's wrong, so you'll know pretty quickly if you've made a mistake. And that sort of type error, that's available to your coding agent as well. So that's why it sees if it makes a mistake, and so it gets that feedback loop and it can fix things by itself. And then you've got your container component, which is just the shell, which is effectively the same structure. So it's two files, the template plus the TypeScript file. There's also got files for things like design tokens and custom styles, which are available in rich text fields, and obviously the main EDS definition file. Now, the SDK comes with a development server, which I'll run now. So you can start with the npx email shepherd dev command. And effectively, what this gives you is a live reload and live preview of the current state of your design system, and you can use these options to override sort of certain fields to see what that looks like. So these map to the fields that you've defined in the editor. So it's just so that you can preview it with different values. And yeah, you get live reload. So for example, if I change, let me change something simple in the container. So if I change this to be, let's just make it a red background and save, and then go back. Yeah, you can see that's got live reload, so you can have it sort of side by side. Okay, so I'll use Claude now to start making some changes to our design system. So let me open a new terminal. I'm going to use Claude Code, but like I say, any coding agent will be fine. So let's say, so I think we've got, let me look at our components. So I'll just ask it, yeah, so we've got a 2-column destination grid, and I'll just ask it to create a 3-column destination grid. So, hey, can you add a new destination grid component similar to the 2-column one, but make it 3? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so it's just looking for the EDS skill. So it's just going to read through that, so it can learn how email shepherd works. Okay, so we can see it's added the TypeScript file. It's added a bunch of fields, and now it's added the template, and it's added it to our list of components. And yeah, so you can see it's running the validation command. So this effectively runs something against the email shepherd API to make sure the email design system is a valid format, and it's rendering the output as well, so we can check that it's as expected. For us, I can check let's check the preview to make sure that looks as we expect. Yeah, there is. There's the 3-column one that we didn't have before. Okay, so once you're kind of ready with your changes, you can deploy that back to email shepherd. There's just like a deploy command. In this case, I'll just ask Claude to run it. Hey, can you deploy that back to email shepherd, please? Yeah, so it's just looking up the CLI commands. Yeah, that's running it now. Okay, so let me switch back to the design system. So we should see our new component now. So this is the 2-column grid. Now if we go to 3-column grid, yeah, there's a new one, and you can see, so it's defined all the required fields and so on, and it's kept all the branding broadly in line. Yeah, so I should say this doesn't replace testing, so you'll still want to test the email code on like all the devices that you want to support. I still wouldn't blindly trust LLMs to generate good email code, but what it can do is generate effectively all the metadata you need for it to work well within email shepherd.